Greetings and welcome back to my game talks. Although today will be my talk about my post Mass Effect thoughts after having done the first Mass Effect, the LP of it. I think it gives you a different feeling when you're playing the each game from back to back. So in a way, I don't feel I can completely talk about the first one or how I felt upon completing it without having gone through the next one and so on. But I think any continuity or discontinuity that may or may not exist between the different titles, 1, 2, and 3, will be brought to light more readily by the fact that I'm doing it back to back rather than at completely disparate times. I mean, as would be the case a few years ago when one title was over, but you had to wait quite some time for the next. Whereas now I can just do it back to back. Having said that, some things that you already know. I dislike the combat, which is why I said the casual. From here on out, Mass Effect 2 through 3, I'll be playing on Sanity, almost certainly on Sanity. But the story, of course, I mean, a lot more side quests, a lot more assignments. But even though the story was good overall, some things just seemed to be rushed. I thought the romance, as much as I like Liara, the romance with Liara was pretty rushed. Even the appointment of Spectre was rushed. It went something like this, if I were to paraphrase the whole situation. Yeah, but how do we get Saren? I know, we'll just make Shepard a Spectre. Okay, Shepard, you're a Spectre. And then all the ceremonial music begins, and maybe I'm missing something, but a lot of scenes could have been done slightly less rushed than they had been. That said, the story is very compelling, and in general, I think it's difficult to find fault with a first title. I mean, we all know what happens eventually, and that knowledge, that post knowledge, well, rather the foreknowledge of what's happening in this game, and then the knowledge that you have after this game, can certainly affect the way you feel about things. But they introduce a solid plot, a solid idea, a solid concept. It was a very good title of the space opera genre. But combat obviously was lacking. I think from Mass Effect 2 onwards, they really improved on the combat system. I myself prefer thermal clips to overheating. I know that's controversial. Not everyone agrees, but not sure how well they did the transition in terms of lore exploration, which was effectively a reboot of the ammunition mechanics. But there are always going to be some plot holes, even if they're plot holes in specific game mechanics. But yeah, I mean, I feel pretty satisfied. I played my character as I wanted to. A fairly ruthless Shepard who occasionally makes decisions that might seem to go more in a Paragon direction. The opportunity to save the Council presented it, and I think my Shepard took the chance, perhaps on the off chance that the Council might recognize that and stop and be more supportive in the future of Shepard. I mean, those were the thoughts that were going through her head, I think, at the moment. But other than that, pretty ruthless Shepard. And I mean, throughout this playthrough, this is Nora Shepard's going to be the kind of Shepard that just does whatever it takes to get things done. But yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it. It was a lot more enjoyable doing it as an LP, I think, than by myself, because I had an audience, albeit a small one, following my tracks and just pointing things out. Going on to Mass Effect 2, which I'll probably start tomorrow. I don't know. Not really sure what to think, to be honest. It's just, in a way, because it's, like I said, there's this discontinuity, jumping from one title to the next. I don't know how, I mean, maybe I'll start noting some of the plot holes, and there are a lot of them in Mass Effect 2, going from the first one to the second one, but I think I'll enjoy the combat more and some of the updated graphics and things like that. But yeah, I mean, that said, Mass Effect 2 in its own right is a great title. And there are some really great characters. I mean, Morden, I'm really looking forward to working with Morden, talking to Morden, looking forward to Legion. There's some other characters that I like. I like Asumi, although her background is not fleshed out well. And yeah, some stuff like Garrus, of course, coming back. That's always a classic. Tally, I'm kind of indifferent towards, but should be interesting as we press forward onto the second title. But I think my thoughts playing each title back to back are going to be much more complete when I'm finished with all three of them, as opposed to just the first one. And of course some sort of intermediary, somewhat more complete after finishing the second one. But we'll see. As always, thanks to the people who actually bothered to watch my LP. I have to admit, I try to be an honest person, intellectually honest person at least. I don't think I'm the best LPer. LPs require kind of, I don't know, you need to be sort of a sunny personality, I think, for the most part. And in case you haven't noticed, I am not that. I am not Mr. Sunshine. So it's difficult, I think, to keep an audience captivated. For those who followed me nonetheless, it's appreciated. I think there are really two kinds of LPers, and I don't think I'm either of them. You have the fake, sunny, kind of jacked up disposition, which a lot of people do. And I think you have people like Gopher who actually are legitimate, but I think he's just naturally inclined to have a sunny disposition. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for following me on the first Let's Play. And I'm looking forward to starting the next one and finally getting access to a combat drone. Not having a combat drone was, well, devastating to say the least. I mean, combat drone engineer, that's just, you can't separate the two. Anyway, so I shall see you guys soon. And as always, may the space child, Casper, watch over you. No, just kidding. It's always the gods, and you have the option to pick which ones you prefer. Norse, Egyptian, Greek, Aztec, Olmec, Mayan. Totally up to you. Take care.